Hey, what's up guys? John here. I've been reporting on the real estate market for quite some time. In one of these reports, I've discussed a huge change coming to the residential, commercial, multifamily, retail, industrial, the entire real estate market. I think is going to go through a massive, massive shift. Now, interestingly, over the last several decades, the core fundamentals of real estate investors will generally consist of cash flow, the return in which they're going to get on their money by investing, the landlord-tenant laws, the tax inside of that state, potentially the zoning laws. They focus inside of their core fundamentals. And generally in hot markets, what happens is their fundamentals expand and they just buy anything that they can potentially buy because they're just, they're excited about the real estate market. Well, now what we're seeing is we've been in a low interest rate environment for a very long time. And this low interest rate environment, this inflationary environment has really pushed down on the gas pedal on this, and people have just been buying everything. But I've been talking about something that no one else has been talking about, which is this weatherization, this energy efficient, and this movement that we're going to be stepping into across all real estate segments. Now, what does this look like? Now, I've called several of these companies that support this, and they want to issue loans to make these properties more energy efficient. And several of these companies, how it works is that they will issue you the loan for you to make the required upgrades. And instead of paying them monthly, like you would a home equity line of credit or a refinance, instead you will pay only when you pay your taxes. So it will just add to your tax bill, and it'll be on a 10 or 15 or 30-year loan, and the rates are roughly 8%, right? And so you're paying a pretty significant amount of money for these upgrades. Now, the Biden administration came out today, this dropped 2-3 hours ago, with a plan to issue a lot of financing for homeowners to do these upgrades. Right now, what I believe is ultimately going to happen is I believe these homeowners are going to do these upgrades, and what is going to happen is going to just continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and ultimately all property owners will have to do these upgrades. But I ask myself this question. Now, people are buying, let's say, commercial real estate, right? And they're getting a 5 to 7 to 10 year loan, right? 5, 7, 10 year ARM, and they're going to refi at the end of that, loan, right? Now, if they're buying these properties at a 4% cap or a 5 or 6 cap, right? And then over time, what's ultimately going to happen is the costs are going to continue to mount on these properties. If rents do not grow at a rate that's going to allow them to do all these expensive upgrades, we could see a situation where, it's going to be very, very challenging for a lot of leveraged landlords to step forward, especially as interest rates rise. When interest rates rise, the cost to borrow money rises. And when that happens, it's going to be very hard to refinance a loan when, the loan, let's say, you got a 7 or 10 year ARM at 3% or 3.5%, and now rates are 6%, and you have to now bear all this cost. Now, we're seeing interest rates already rise, right? But look at this article here because it's very fascinating. I think it gives a lot of insight. And I think we're all going to look back on this video in 6 months and a year and realize that I was the only one talking about this. Biden administration announces new funding to make homes more energy efficient. The Biden administration on Wednesday announced new plans to spend $3.16 billion to retrofit thousands of homes in low-income areas with the goal of making them more energy efficient while also lowering utility bills for Americans. The investment comes from President Biden's $1.2 trillion bipartisan infrastructure bill that was signed into law last year. It will bolster the federal government weatherization assistance program, which is designed to upgrade homes by installing insulation, updating heating and cooling systems, and switching to new electrical appliances, among other things. White House officials during a press briefing on Wednesday said the new funding will allow the program to retrofit 450,000 homes, a major increase from the roughly 38,000 homes it currently serves each year. Home energy retrofits and upgrades like electrification, heat pumps, LED lighting, insulation, sealing up leaks can slash monthly energy bills for families and improve the air we breathe. Secretary of Energy Jennifer Granholm said in a statement, "We will be able to help thousands of disadvantaged communities reduce carbon emissions and generate good-paying local jobs in every corner of America." Electricity production from businesses and homes represents 13% of the country's climate-changing greenhouse gas emissions, according to estimates from the Environmental Protection Agency. The funding will move forward Biden's pledge to slash emissions by half by 2030 and reach net zero emissions by mid-century. The program also implements the administration's Justice 40 commitment, which requires federal agencies to deliver at least 40% of benefits from special funding to disadvantaged communities. The weatherization program began in the 1970s as an effort to slash utility bills and has delivered an average of $372 in annual energy savings for families, according to the Energy Department. So this is what they're saying. I believe that what we're going to see is we're going to see this continue to pick up steam over the next 1 to 2 years. And who knows, we could even see a situation where, this is speculative, but where they're going to want properties to meet certain requirements, very similar to like an FHA loan. If you've ever dealt with, if you were ever a realtor or ever a first-time buyer and you dealt with an FHA loan, there's certain requirements that you need to pass for you to actually obtain the financing. It could be very likely that potentially in the future there could be some type of energy requirements or some type of requirements for these properties. Pure speculation, but if you read a lot of what's going on here or whitehouse.gov, they talk about it. I've covered this in a former video. I'll pin it right here. The Hill, they've covered a lot of this, how this financing program will work. I think a lot of smart real estate investors are paying attention to this. And I think that during all markets, when you step into an environment where, there's a lot of stress and strain, maybe with a new curve or a new change, there's going to be opportunity there, opportunity for investors. So in this video, I'm just kind of laying out the landscape of where I see this all going. And I think it's going to be very, very big. Drop your comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think this is going to continue to be a very, very big trend in the real estate market in America? Drop below. Subscribe here. Consider subbing on my second channel and also on TikTok. And if you have young children, I have an educational channel for my 2-year-old son. I'm going to leave links pinned down below for all of them. Catch you guys later.